So help me God.
Thank you. Secondly, Honorable Dr. Ekwam, let me take the opportunity to introduce the members. Myself is Honorable Kiprotich Rogon. I'm the chairperson of this committee, and I'm also the member of County Assembly representing Sigawit. To my right is Honorable Mazi Kikonyo, who is a member of this committee. She is a nominated member of County Assembly representing the minority. Again, to my right is the Honorable Aaron Rotich. He is the Chief Whip and the member of counties representing Sereti Cheptoro Ward. He is the vice chair of this committee. To my left, beginning from the far left, is Honorable Gilbert Ngetich, MCA representing Kisiara Ward. And my immediate left is Honorable Isaac Metker. He is a member of this committee and a nominated MCA representing the minority. I want to give the opportunity to the Secretariat to say their names.
I am Brian Langat, the Deputy Director in charge of Legal Services.
I'm Lynn Kirui, Senior Clerk Assistant.
Rose Mutai, the Director Legal and Procedural Services.
Thank you. My name is David Thiongo, the Hansard Editor.
Thank you. I want to, at this point, invite Rose Mutai to read the charges to the CEC in charge of health, Dr. Ekwam.
Okay, thank you so much. The Honorable David Ekwam, kindly take your stand. The charges against you, as passed by the County Assembly via motion of 24th September 2025 afternoon sitting, are as follows. Ground 1, abuse of office. The particulars of this ground is as follows. Allegation: authorizing illegal withdrawal of funds, cover-up and falsification of documents, fictitious payments, improper documentation, sabotaging the assembly, and usage of office to implement personal interest. On various occasions, while supervising the administration and delivery of services in department, you repeatedly engaged in abuse of office by authorizing the illegal withdrawal of funds, cover-up and falsification of documents, overseeing fictitious payments for works, goods, and services not done or delivered, failing to ensure proper keeping of records, documentation in your department, and overseeing payments not supported by proper documentation from the county coffers, openly sabotaging the county assembly's effort to discharge its oversight role under Article 185 of the Constitution of Kenya and Section 8 of the County Government Act 2012, consistently using your power and office to implement and further personal and clandestine interest at the expense of the trust bestowed in the offices you hold. Ground 2, gross misconduct. The particulars on this ground is as follows. Allegation 1, holding another public office despite being a state officer. Holding a public office despite being a state officer in contravention of Article 73(2) of the Constitution 2010, Section 35 of the County Government Act, Section 12, 16, 22, 26 of the Public Officers Ethics Act, Section 11, 20, 23, 26, 30 of the Leadership and Integrity Act. Allegation 2, you have failed to provide leadership and discharge your responsibility as County Executive Committee member in accordance with the Constitution and the law. On various occasions, you has failed to exhibit honesty, transparency, impartiality in the execution of your duties, refrain from taking responsibility, making diversionary and contradictory statements about the circumstances under which the public funds were lost in the department, appropriated and reported and feigned ignorance on the unfortunate loss of public funds. Ground 4, violation of Constitution and other written laws. The particulars on this ground is that you, in various occasions, approved the withdrawal of funds contrary to the provision of Section 138 of the Public Procurement and Assets and Disposal Act. Presided over splitting of the procurement into two to enable them to use request for quotation instead of using open tender, which is more transparent and competitive method, and not ensuring there is necessary documentation before payment is done for goods supplied, hence contradicting the Constitution. Breach the trust bestowed on state officer by Article 73, 75 of the Constitution of Kenya. Breach Section 54(1) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act. Now, Dr. Ekwam, how do you plead to these 4 grounds? You're either guilty or not guilty. How do you plead to ground 1?
The mic.
Not guilty.
How do you plead to ground 2?
Not guilty.
How do you plead to ground 3?
Not guilty.
How do you plead to ground 4?
Not guilty.
Thank you.
Thank you. You can take your seat, Dr. Ekwam. At this point in time, I want to invite the mover of the motion, Honorable Moses Rotich, to give his evidence against Dr. Ekwam.
Thank you so much, Chairman. Guided by the Regulation 104 of Public Finance Management, Regulations of 2015, Section 12 of Public Finance Management Act of 2012, Section 45 2B of the Anti-Corruption and Ethics Crimes Act of 2003, Section 11 of Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012, Chairman, and Section 23 of the same Act, under the part of abuse of office, Chairman, the particulars of the cover-up and falsification of documents. The other committee on fictitious payments noted that the E-teams invoice by Afroscape Limited could not be validated, hence its authenticity was doubtful, while the narration in the E-teams for Slick Solutions referred to construction and not medical equipments. This therefore means the payment vouchers were not properly documented as per Regulation 104 of Public Finance and Management County Government Regulations, Chairman. I wish, Chairman, that I read Section 45 2B of Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act of 2003 makes it an offense for a public officer to fraudulently make or approve payments without proper documentation. Section 46 of the same Act on abuse of office applies where officers knowingly rely on invalid invoices to authorize payments, thereby benefiting suppliers irregularly and causing loss of public funds. Chairman, the use of doubtful E-teams, unless Honorable Dr. Ekwam confirms in provision of valid E-teams to this committee that the E-teams that was used therein is different from the one provided. These is inconsistent narrations, Chairman, and unsupported payment of vouchers is tantamount of overseeing of fictitious payment of works and goods and services. Such conduct, Chairman, directly breach several laws. Chairman, Constitution of Kenya of 2010, Article 10 requires transparency, integrity, and accountability in public service. Article 226(2) provides that public officers are accountable to County Assembly for the use of public funds. Article 73(1) 1A and B provides that leadership is a trust requiring honesty, accountability, and avoidance of impropriety. Impropriety, Chairman, in this sense, is when payments are made with doubtful documentation, Chairman. It affects the degree of honesty in a department, degree of accountability, and the trust bestowed on the holder of the office. Chairman, documents in a department, keeping proper records, Chairman, is a very crucial aspect towards success of a department. Doubtful invoices can easily plunge the county into loss of funds, loss of property. And in a critical area like health, Chairman, if in any case we are having doubtful invoices circulating within the corridors of healthcare, it doubts the trust, it doubts the honesty, and doubts the accountability. Unless, Chairman, the Honorable CEC proves otherwise, that contradictory payment vouchers reflects failure to maintain accurate verifiable records as required by public finance, and requires accounting officers, by extension departmental aides like CECM, to maintain proper systems of financial and accounting records. Remember, e-teams, Chairman, is a reflection of our taxes. Kulipa ushuru, Chairman, ni kujitegemea. If people who are trading with us are evading taxes, Chairman, I think that is a violation. Unless the CEC provides us the valid e-teams, Chairman, proving otherwise, it is a crime. Openly, Chairman, supporting County Assembly's efforts to discharge its oversight role under Article 185 of the Constitution of Kenya and Section 8 of the County Government Act of 2012. Chairman, during the Audit Committee meetings, the department was tasked with providing the directors of the different companies mentioned. The department failed to provide these documents. Under Article 185(3) of the Constitution of Kenya, 2010, the County Assembly has oversight authority over the County Executive Committee and other county executive arms. When a CECM refuses or fails to provide documents, they undermine the constitutional mandate, Chairman. On the part of the gross misconduct, Chairman, holding public office, you remember Dr. Ekwam is a public servant, doctor by profession, a renowned ophthalmologist, very competent in practice, Chairman, that His Excellency the Governor saw him fit that he promotes him to another higher level, Chairman, to manage. Management is a virtue of trust. You are elevated because you were better than any other person in management of healthcare. So holding public office despite a state officer, being a state officer, is in a contravention of Article 73(2) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, Section 35 of County Government Act, Section 12, 16, 22, 26 of Public Officers Ethics Act, Section 11, 20, 23, 26, and 30 of Leadership and Integrity Act. Public officers, Chairman, are under strict obligation as state officers. Section 12 prohibits public officers from engaging in gainful employment that may conflict with their official duties. Secondly, Chairman, Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 reinforces these standards. Section 11 requires honesty and transparency in carrying out public duties. Section 20 prohibits conflicts of interest. When you hold two positions, Chairman, at the same time, one is a higher position, one is a junior position, at the end of the day, there is conflict of interest, so that the provisions of law requires that in a discharge of a mandate, you have to declare interest in its peculiarity. And in any case, when there are conflicting interests, one is supposed to recuse him or herself. And in this case, we have never had the CCM chairman recuse himself on any occasion under the discharge of his mandate. Kenyan courts have affirmed that holding dual offices and failure to comply with Chapter 6 obligations amount to gross misconduct. In Rogers Mogaka Mogusu versus George Onyango Olo and two others, in a petition of 2015 EKLR, the High Court held that a state officer cannot hold another public office concurrently, as it amounts to conflict of interest and violates the Constitution and Leadership Code. Similarly, in Momo Matemu versus Trusted Society of Human Rights Alliance and five others, a petition of 2013 EKLR, the Court of Appeal emphasizes that Chapter 6 of the Constitution demands the highest standards of integrity, and that state officers must avoid conflicts and preserve public trust at all times. Chairman, that is on the part of gross misconduct, violation of the Constitution and the other written laws. Honorable CEC presided over misappropriation of public funds as the head of the department, where two companies, their tenders were split to meet the threshold of West for quotations, RFQ, Chairman, which is influenceable, unlike the open tenders, Chairman. Breached the issue of transparency and competitiveness of the tendering process. Article 73, Chairman, breached the trust bestowed on state officers by Article 73 and 75 of the Constitution of Kenya by overseeing fictitious payment, providing contradictory documents. The CCM undermined public confidence and acted dishonestly. Article 73(1)(a), authority assigned to a state officer is a public trust, and it must be exercised in a manner that is consistently with the purposes and objects of the Constitution, demonstrate respect for the people, brings honor to the nation and dignity to the office, and promotes public confidence in the integrity of the office. Unless the CCM chairman proves otherwise, beyond reasonable doubt, Chairman, it is within the power and the discretion of this committee, when they retire, to make a deliberation and give a ruling on the same. Chairman, with that, I wish to end my submission as at that, Chairman. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Moses Rotich, for your evidence. I want to give this opportunity to the CEC in charge of health to cross-examine or seek clarifications from the mover of the motion, if any.
I'd like to take this opportunity to first and foremost thank you for affording me this opportunity to appear before you to clarify on the matters before us, before this committee. I would like to go through the items one by one and probably also clarify on the responses on the allegations. On ground one, abuse of office.
Honorable Ekwam, of course it will come to an opportunity for you to present your evidence. But then, do you have anything that is not clear that you would want to find out from the mover of the motion? Or is there anything that you wish the motion mover to clarify? Because you will have another opportunity to defend yourself.
I don't have any.
Thank you. Then that is easy. I want to, at this point in time, I want to invite the honorable members to ask any questions or requests for clarification from the mover of the motion on the allegations tabled before this committee relating to the Honorable Dr. Ekwam, who is the CC in charge of health.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, I only want to seek clarification from the mover of the motion on the issue precisely in the charge 4, that is violation of Constitution. I've seen you say the company supplied, that is 4 million, and another one 1.9. Maybe another one at a cost of 2.0. Maybe just Afroscape or something, a slick. Maybe just to inquire from the, when was this, when were these tenders floated? Maybe just to inquire from Mheshimiwa. And number 2, maybe just to know exactly what you mean by e-teams, because I've seen somewhere that you read something on e-teams, and maybe I'll make a follow-up on the same.
Thank you. Through the chair, Mheshimiwa Rotich said, Mheshimiwa Mover, can you confirm to this committee when this fictitious payment made under the Department of Health was made? I mean, when the procurement for the goods was done, kindly relate this allegation to the CCM, to the Waziri. Secondly, you allege that this department split assembly. It's noted that you are a member of Health Committee, also used to be a Vice Chair of Health last year. What step did you take to prevent the loss of the funds in the development? Thank you so, in the department, I mean. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Isaac Matker. Do you have any other member? So maybe from my end, Honorable Moses Rotich, you've claimed that Honorable Dr. Ekwam holds another office besides getting appointed to be the CAC. How can you confirm this? And number 2, you've talked about the directors of the companies involved, that is the Afroscape and Slick Solutions. How did you establish that the department headed by Dr. Ekwam did not submit the list of directors? And lastly, you've claimed that the e-teams submitted, I want to believe Honorable Isma has asked, were fake. How did you establish that they are fake? You can respond to those.
Chairman, I thank you, and I wish to pick my responses from the issue of e-teams. E-teams is an electronic receipt confirming remittances to KRA. Chairman, that is from the Honorable Aaron Rotich. Secondly, we borrow our responses. Basically, I wish to refer the committee to the report on fictitious payments. The report, the ad hoc committee report on fictitious payment was vivid with recommendation, was vivid with observation. So I wish to invite the Honorable Committee through the Chair to indeed make reference to the ad hoc committee report on fictitious payment. Honorable Isma has indeed asked me how is the CEC responsible. On many occasions, Chairman, the principal is the school and the school is the principal. Roles of the CEC, number one, includes one, budgeting in the department. He sits in cabinet representing issues of the health department in cabinet where many approvals are made. Secondly, issues of management and administrative of the department. So all the issues emanating from all the subsections of health all converge at the desk of the Honorable CEC. On issues of splitting of tenders, provisions of supplies, any supply beyond 3 million of the supplies on the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act of 2015. Any supply that goes beyond 3 million, it is taken direct to a competitive process of open tendering. On the issues of the SLIC and the SLIC and Afroscape, I also wish to invite the committee to the recommendations as highlighted for in the ad hoc committee report on fictitious payments. I thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Moses. There is a question you've not answered. When was the procurement of these, the two companies are highly mentioned. You've not confirmed to Honorable Isaac Motkel, when did the procurement happen? And when was the payment done?
Chairman, I wish to borrow the leaf of the response from the ad hoc committee report on fictitious payments that have invited the committee directly when they retire to make a ruling basing on the report. I thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Before you take your seat, Honorable Moses Rotich, just 1 minute. So you are telling this committee that we will then, when we retire, look for the dates when this happened. You do not have.
It is vivid within the report, Chairman. If I can, you give me a chance to get the report on fictitious payments. It is highlighted per observation, per specific recommendations,
correct,
and per the allegation as it was raised by the whistleblower.
Okay.
As at then.
Let me give it to Honorable Isaac.
Okay. There was also another question that I forgot. Honorable Matker, Isaac Matker, highlighted that what was my role on matters of oversight. Oversight is a collective responsibility, Honorable Chair, that one of the other functions of the CEC, the primary oversight holder of in a department is the CEC. And due to the changes that came up along the way, I am currently a junior member in a committee on health services. So, Chairman, I wish to rest at that.
Mheshimiwa, you want to remove a CEC from the office. You are the mover of the motion of the CEC Health. And you don't know the date of these supplies, this procurement, when it was happened. And Mheshimiwa, what if this allegation or this procurement has happened under the former CEC of Health? Because ECOM, what I'm seeing is he was appointed at March, I think, yeah? March 2025. And you want to remove him because of the mistake of another guy or other former CC last year. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Moses Rotich, can you respond to that?
I wish to thank you, Chairman, and I wish to respond to the question as raised by Honorable Matker on issues of the appointment. I know on many occasions someone will say it was not me. Government offices exist in perpetual. When there is a blessing in the department, you inherit as a blessing. When it is a curse too, you inherit and you own it because of the perpetuality and existence of government offices. So it is not me who is wishing to remove CEC from office. After I've tabled my allegation, he will have a chance to defend himself under a fair hearing. It is now the committee that Honorable Rogon is chairing that will make substantiation of the claims as we raise. I thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Moses Rotich. At this point in time, I want to give the Honorable Dr. Ekwam. You will take this. I think you will be able to stand here, and then you make your present evidence. You've heard the mover of the motion give his version of the story. That is the evidence for the removal of office, for your removal from office. You take the stance and give your evidence. If you have witnesses, you will also tell this committee. So you can.
Honorable members, Chairman, I would like to respond to the charges brought against me by the Honorable Member for Tendeno Soget as follows. I'll go through the charges one by one. On ground one, on abuse of office, I would like to categorically state that I have served the Republic of Kenya in many capacities for the last 24 years. And at no single time have I misbehaved in any manner. My files are clean. At no single time have I been brought before any committee, not even at the level of the hospital, to answer to any charges of impropriety. And it comes to me as a big surprise that such a motion can be brought before this honorable house, accusing a very innocent person of such gross violations. On the first part, authorizing illegal withdrawal of funds. Section 149 of the PFM Act is very, very clear on, it talks about responsibilities of an accounting officer of a department. The County Executive Committee member for Finance and Economic Planning designates, being the head of county treasury, designates chief officers as responsible accounting officers for every department. I know this very well because I served as county chief officer for health services in this very county for a period of 5 years. And in the 5 years I served, I have never been brought to this house to answer questions of impropriety. I have not been to any investigative bodies, and even audits that have been done in the past have clearly exonerated the Department of Health Services of any impropriety while I served there. So being an accounting officer, the Section 149 says that the responsibilities of an accounting officer, I think I'd like to read for you that specific part. Section 149 of the Kenya's Public Finance Management Act 2012 outlines the accountability of accounting officers to their respective county assemblies. As the accounting officer for their department, the accounting officer is responsible for ensuring that departmental resources are used lawfully, efficiently, effectively, economically, and transparently, and that the resources are not used for unlawful purposes. This is very explicit on who holds responsibility for any resources given to a department. So, insinuating that the CEC is responsible for authorizing illegal withdrawal of funds is quite incorrect. So, authorizing illegal withdrawal of funds is actually the responsibility of the controller of budget. I think it is only the controller of budget in the Republic of Kenya who holds the responsibility of authorizing withdrawals. Of course, before it gets to the control of budget, there is a process. And there is no single part that a county executive committee member is engaged in the process of processing payments. That is my answer. And at no single time have I been involved while serving as county executive committee member in authorizing illegal withdrawal of funds. After my tour of duty as county chief officer for health services ended on the 7th of December 2022, I retreated back to my previous job, that is serving as a consultant ophthalmologist, and I was deployed to Kapkatet, where I served for a period of 2 years. At no single time was I recalled to come and even explain anything while I served as CEO. And when I was nominated in December of 2024, I was eventually vetted by this honorable house, and I thank you for considering my appointment. I was sworn into office on the 5th of March 2025. The procurements that we are discussing here today, particularly the two in health services, the process started in December, 6th of December, for the two companies. Started on the 6th. The requisition was on the 6th of December. And the entire process, I think the LSO came out on LPO, sorry, because the procurement was a supply of goods. The LPO is dated 18th of February 2025. This was before I became the CEC for health services. And at that point, I was also not in management of any of the health facilities in the county. On cover-up and falsification of documents, I want to categorically deny that I have participated in any way in trying to falsify any document. In fact, while I served before as County Chief Officer for Health Services, I made deliberate attempts and efforts to ensure that the Department of Health Services was able to handle documentation very well. I did this by ensuring that I revamped, with the support of the County Public Service Board, I ensured that staff were recruited, human resource officers were recruited in all the 7 hospitals in Kericho. I also ensured that we had enough accountants and procurement officers in all the hospitals in Kericho. In fact, the bigger hospitals have 2 to 3 procurement officers and accountants, because I understood the importance of having proper record keeping and proper procedures to be followed. Specifically, the PFM Act needed to be implemented in full. Public procurement and asset disposal needed to be implemented properly, and it can only be done by professionals in their own line. As we speak, we have enough of procurement officers, enough human resource officers, and I can assure you we have supported those sections of the department to deliver on their mandates. And this can be evidenced by the minimal audit queries that arise in the Department of Health Services from 2018 to date. So it would be incorrect to say that I have participated at any one time in covering up and falsification of documents. On overseeing fictitious payments for works, goods, and services not done or delivered, I want to categorically also deny that I have done this while serving as the CEC for Health Services and even before. Failing to ensure, because payments are done by the accounting officer. There's nowhere the CEC is involved in the process of payments. Failing, and I would also like to say specifically on the 2 companies that are listed here, Slick Solutions as well as Afroscape. I have perused the documents. In fact, this came to my knowledge when the whistleblower came up with this report. Immediately, I was able to engage with my county chief officer for health services, a man I highly respect, and I've worked with him before, and I know he keeps his word. I looked at the documents. Most of the documentation is good and above board. While I would not want to really delve into such matters in details, because this is also subject of other investigatory bodies, other regulatory bodies. We have the EACC are already seized of this matter and they're investigating. The DCI are also seized of this matter, and I would not really want to appear like I'm trying to defend anyone, because these bodies are the competent authorities that are supposed to investigate, and if economic crimes are detected, the law will take its course. Anybody, I am one person who believes in the rule of law. I believe in the rule of law, and I respect institutions. Every institution has its own role, and I always ensure that I facilitate processes. And that's why I'm here today, to appear before this Honorable House and to defend myself and any other officer working below me on whatever has transpired. So I want to categorically say I did not participate in this particular payment. I think I've already responded to the issue of record keeping, and in this particular, the 2 procurements that are subject of this investigation, we have documents that were provided by my chief officer when he appeared before this committee, and I want to assure you that the documentation has been provided, and whatever information was requested after, during the process of investigating the ad hoc, the fictitious payments, we have since submitted the information requested. Specifically, the e-teams has been submitted to the office of the clerk within the 15 days that had been provided. On the issue of the directors of the companies, it is actually part of the payment documents. And I actually have the documents here with me, the voucher together with all the documents, which clearly, these are the same documents that were provided by my chief officer when he appeared before you, before the ad hoc committee on fictitious payment. One of the documents there is one of the documents is certificate of incorporation. So certificate of incorporation is usually attached to the payment voucher. In the Department of Health Services, I can assure you, this is one of the departments that tries as much as possible to provide all the necessary documentation, because we have a checklist that we use when processing payments. So in the certificate of incorporation, it clearly states who are the directors of the two companies referred to in this particular investigation.
So, Waziri, you're saying the two companies?
Yes.
You have the list of directors as attached?
Yes.
And I've also seen that e-teams were provided on 19th of August 2025.
Yes. That's correct.
Okay, proceed.
Thank you. On the issue of openly sabotaging the County Assembly's efforts to discharge its oversight role under Article 185 of the Constitution and Section 8 of the County Government Act 2012, at no single time have I put myself in any, at no single time have I tried to sabotage the functions of this County Assembly. If anything, I am a stickler for the rule of law, and I respect institutions, and I expect to cooperate and to collaborate with all state organs, all agencies, including this Honorable House. At no single time have I tried to be an impediment to the operations of this Honorable House. On the issue of consistently using my power and office to implement and further personal and clandestine interests at the expense of trust bestowed in the office I hold, I also want to say this is incorrect, because I understand the law. The law is very, very clear on conflict of interest. Whenever a conflict of interest arises, the honorable thing to do is to declare the conflict of interest and step aside and allow others to discharge that particular role or handle the matter under consideration. In 2017, I resigned. I had a thriving private practice that is managed by a company. I resigned as a director when I took over, when I became the county chief officer for health services. I have never been readmitted. Even after I completed my tour of duty in 2022, I have not been readmitted as a director in that company.
as well as other agencies. So, on the allegation that I reprobated and feigned ignorance on the unfortunate loss of public funds, it does not arise, because I have always taken responsibility. In this particular matter, we have provided the necessary information to all the agencies, and we are ready, even in future, given an opportunity, to continue discharging our mandates and collaborating with all public agencies. On ground 4, that is on the allegation of violation of the Constitution and other written laws, approving withdrawal of public funds, I think I've already responded to this matter. On the splitting of procurement into two to enable us to use RFQ instead of open tender, which is more transparent and competitive, and not ensuring there is necessary documentation before payments is done. I specifically inquired about this in the department, because as I had alluded to earlier, these are procurements that happened when I was not in office. But after getting the information from the officers who are the chief officer and the other officers, procurement, accounts, I was able to get information that specifically the budgets are usually lumped together in the department, like a large budget for procurement of medical commodities. It's a blanket. When you look at the budget of the department, you will find that you will have a figure of, like, say, 240 million in the procurement plan. You cannot now come a plan. And this is the function of the county chief officer as well as the head of procurement. In fact, the head of procurement advises on the method of procurement. Anytime you sit down to request for procurement of any goods, works, or services. And I can assure you, the two vouchers that I have here are clear, are very, very clear, that the head of procurement prescribed the method of procurement in accordance with the relevant section. Yeah. When you look at the document that was submitted by my chief officer in December, there was a requisition which was approved by the department, and then it went to the head of procurement, who recommended RFQ method in line with section 105, 106 of the law. So it is very clear we were properly advised on the method to use. We could not go against the advice of the head of procurement. Of course, at the same time, we also read. Even when you get advice, you also try to confirm. And we confirmed actually that is the correct method. And therefore, I would like to say that the method that was utilized by the team that was there, even though I was not in the department, they used the correct method. But since other agencies are also looking into this matter, we will allow the agencies to eventually determine the way forward. What I would also like to add is that the referred tenders for supply of medical equipment for the two tenders, I want to confirm to this committee that the supplies were actually brought even before I became the chief officer. I mean the CC. The supplies were brought, and that one of them, this one on Slick, I think Slick Solutions. Slick Solutions was for supply of medical equipment for Londiani Sub-County Hospital. So specifically, Londiani Sub-County Hospital. So I want to confirm to you, the goods were received as confirmed by the S13 that was provided by my CEO. And at the same time, S11s are available because the goods were actually taken to the hospital, Londiani Sub-County Hospital.